Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. There's a lot of news going down in baseball right now. I got you covered. I've got 7 of the most notable trades that have gone down. 4 of them I'm going to cover extensively. The others I will briefly touch up. But before we start, if you're new here, hit that sub button. Hit the like right now because you already know it's going to be a banger of a podcast. So hit the like right now. Hit that sub button. I'm on my way to 200 subs. I need your help to get there. So hit that sub button. Also hit that bell so you never miss a video. Hit the bell. Click all so you never miss a podcast or any other content that I drop. Soon there might be a little bit of merch coming out. I can't really guarantee it, but it may happen. So stick around. Hit that sub button so you don't miss anything. And with that out of the way, let's get into the moves in question. So first, I got to talk about it because this is my Yankees here. Joey Gallo going to the New York Yankees in exchange for 4 prospects. Absolutely must-need move after the move both the Oakland A's, we'll get to that later, and the Tampa Bay Rays, another one we'll get to later. With both those trades being made, it came out tonight that Joey Gallo will be traded to the New York Yankees in exchange for 3 prospects, and the Yankees will also be getting a reliever. His name is really skipping my mind, but he's like a 28-year-old reliever who has a lot of potential. So that's also another added bonus for the Yankees going into this trade. Now, there are guys like Joel Sherman out there saying, oh, the Yankees got a power hitter. They didn't get a good hitter. Man, Joey Gallo has over an 850 OPS. Has over a 350 on-base percentage. What does that mean? He gets on base. This man is a good hitter. He has good plate discipline. He hits fucking bombs. And he knows what to do at the plate. Yes, he'll strike out. But that's with most power hitters. They'll strike out. But he's getting on base consistently. Gets on base consistently and hits for power consistently. And what did the Yankees lack? The Yankees lack lefty pop and also guys who just get on base. Joey Gallo does both. And he solves left field knowing that Gardner doesn't have to play every day. Now Joey Gallo will play basically every day. This is probably one of my favorite moves the Yankees have made over the past few years. Just great job by the Yankees there. Not giving up too much in the deal. Again, because it's not officially finalized, there's no real, there's very conflicting reports going out. Clark Schmidt's a part of the deal. He's not a part of the deal. And so on and so forth. So all I know is we did not get rid of Dominguez. We did not get rid of Gill. And we did not get rid of our 2 top infield prospects. So it wasn't even like we gave them the biggest haul. Meaning that big haul may be a part of another trade. Maybe for a guy who hasn't been traded yet in Trevor Story. Again, that's me being a speculative Yankee fan. That's me being a hopeful Yankee fan. But I would keep my eye out for the Yankees making at least one more trade. Overall, Gallo is going to help this team. Gallo will hopefully help this team get to a wild card spot. Maybe if the Red Sox go on some major slump and the Yankees start picking it up, they can catch that division. At this point, after this last Boston series, I don't see us getting the division. Wild card spot seems like a good deal. The Yankees are still scary in a wild card spot, especially having Gallo, knowing that I don't think any team wants to face this team at full strength. Knowing that they got Judge, Sanchez, Voit. Yeah, we haven't had Voit this year, basically. He's only played like 22 games or so. Last year in 2020, led the league in homers. So Luke Voit, when he comes back, it's going to be a problem. Then we're going to put DJ at second. Rougned Odor at that point becomes a pinch hitter. Imagine that. Still got Giancarlo Stanton, who has been struggling of late. Still getting on base, but struggling. And if he picks it up, and he does what he did against, he does what he did in the 2020 playoffs, in this year's playoffs, I don't think anyone wants to really face this team in the playoffs. Especially now, adding a guy who has such power and knows how to get on base. Plus, him being in left field, he's a plus defender, an A-plus defender. One of the premium defenders. Him and Aaron Judge are very similar. The fact that they're tall and that they have a lot of power, they know how to get on base, and they're excellent defenders. So now you have basically Aaron Judge 1.0, Aaron Judge 2.0 on both sides of the outfield. This team will be scary moving forward in the second half. And in August, things do usually start to change. I'm not saying the Yankees are guaranteed a spot. They still got a couple teams to jump to even get to the second wild card spot. But a lot of things start to change once August comes up. They call them the dog days of August for a reason. A lot of teams that are at the top start to be complacent once August comes. They start falling off. Now teams towards the bottom or like to sort of fringe area know they have to make a push. Those teams start to make their way up. Not saying it will happen this year, but you never know. And this trade helps that tremendously. All right. Let's get to the next trade. The Oakland A's receive Starling Marte for 2 months since his contract is up at the end of this year. So basically, they're going to get him for the rest of July, August, September, and whatever postseason run they have, if they do have one, in October. And then he's gone, most likely. For one of their top pitching prospects over the last 3 years, Jesus Luzardo. Now, the Marlins are paying off the rest of his Marte's salary for the rest of the year. That's a part of this, but for me, I think the A's gave up a little too much. Yes, you are trading a guy who's not as proven right now for a guy who is a very proven center fielder. But for one, they have a center fielder. Do you guys remember Ramon Laureano? This guy still exists. Starling Marte will help. He's going to be probably, unless you move Laureano to one of the corner outfields, he'll be a corner outfielder at that point. a guy who can get you a pretty good average, get you on base a little bit. And one reason why I didn't think this was a great thing for the Yankees was to get Marte is, for one, he's only for 2 years. That's another reason why I love this Joey Gallo trade the Yankees did. It's because Joey Gallo is under contract for the rest of this year and all of next year. So it's not just a rental. The A's decided that they wanted a rental in the outfield for a few months to trade their top prospect, a guy you could have built your starting rotation around. To me, just doesn't make as much sense as other people will make it seem. I don't know. I wasn't a true fan of this trade, looking at it from the A's perspective, but looking at it from the Marlins perspective, you had Starling Marte because you thought you were going to make a run. Now he signed in free agency thinking that you guys, coming off of a postseason appearance, we're going to do something. Didn't happen. So you know what? The Marlins did exactly what they were supposed to do. They figured out we don't have anything this year. And guess what? They really don't. Jazz Chisholm is one of my favorite players in baseball right now. Yes, but he is not winning you these games. He's not winning you this division. At some point, he'll be that type of guy. He's not there yet. And then he also has this injury issue. You also have a couple guys that I like on that team. Jesus Aguilar, Jorge Alfaro, Alvarez. There's a bunch of guys on this team that I like. But they're just not they're not producing. Lewis Brinson, another guy. But yeah, this team is very young. And they benefited wholeheartedly from it being 60 games last year, knowing that the Mets are pretty slow starters. Always. The Mets and Yankees always start off pretty slow. So they did exactly what they were supposed to do. They traded their veteran guy who they knew would have a lot of value to teams either in the playoffs or looking for a playoff spot in order to get a true stud prospect. And that's exactly what they did. Jesus Luzardo is the real deal. And he will be the real deal in like 3 years. Not even 3 years. I think he's on a little bit of a faster timetable than that. But that's kind of the timetable the Marlins are on. So this right here, I think the Marlins won this trade wholeheartedly. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that. A lot of people are going to say you got to let go of your prospects if it means going for a championship. I think that's true to an extent. To an extent, that is true. If you have guys that aren't going to help you long term, we'll get to that later with one of the Yankees' other trades that kind of helped this Joey Gallo trade happen. If there's guys on your roster that you don't think will help you get to that point, then let them go. But Jesus Luzardo was a type of guy to where if he pieced it together, this guy could have helped them with the postseason run. And they kind of just let him go. So I think Marlins got this trade. I got the victory in this trade. There has to be a winner, has to be a loser. The A's were the losers. Next, a trade that really was not fun to see a couple days ago. Nelson Cruz was traded to Tampa Bay in exchange for 2 prospects. Man, why do the Rays always get this right? Why do the Rays always get it right? It's kind of annoying. Even as a Yankee fan, I can respect that Rays organization, the Rays front office. The Rays front office knows what they're doing. They know the one thing that they've struggled to have for the past 3 years is solid DH play. They've never really had a great DH. Now they've got one of the best DHs in the AL, and it may not be close. Nelson Cruz is old. I get that. I still don't know I don't exactly know who the prospects are. Excuse me. You can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below. But I don't think these guys are some of the top prospects in their organization. If they are top guys in the organization, then let me know down below. But Nelson Cruz was the perfect fit for this Rays team, and it pains me to say it. Knowing this team had such a lack in DH, knowing that they traded Adames earlier in the year because he just wasn't producing, now they're getting a guy who you can almost bank on getting you, at least this half of the season, you can bank on him getting 15 to 20 homers. It's gonna be scary knowing that this team that already earlier in the middle of the 2010s had one of the biggest heists in MLB history. It's on par with the Babe Ruth trade that sent Chris Archer to Pittsburgh in exchange for Austin Meadows and Tyler Glasnow. Two guys that they're still building around right now for a guy who was out of that team in 2 to 3 years with over a 4.5 ERA. Absolutely insane. Now they're getting this right. Fixing their only need, really, is DH. DH was a very big issue. Now they fixed that with Nelson Cruz. I still have faith in the Yankees that they can pull this off. It's just going to get a lot harder knowing that we're a few games back of Tampa. And even though as I'm recording this, they won the first 2 games of this series, with Chapman doing really well against Nelson Cruz, it's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough, and, Rays fans, you should be happy about this. There's not much to say on the Twins side. The Twins kind of suck. They got a couple prospects out of it. They're giving up their veterans now. I'll just say there's a reason Willians Astudillo pitches a lot. It's because y'all are losing a shit ton. And by a shit ton. So, it's not a great time to be a Twins fan. I'll say that. Now for the last trade that I'm going into grave depth with. The Milwaukee Brewers are going all in on this NL Central division. Earlier on, trading for Willy Adames has become a pretty big success for them. Now trading for the Arizona Diamondbacks All-Star Eduardo Escobar for 2 prospects. The Brewers really are pushing for this division. Knowing that Christian Yelich has had a down year, you needed an offensive spark. And what is Eduardo Escobar? He's an offensive spark. And coming from Arizona, where this team is probably the worst team in baseball right now. Yes, they took the cake from freaking Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is not the worst team in baseball anymore. It's Arizona. And this guy was rotting there. He was an all-star this year, and usually you don't see many all-stars coming out of there. Speaking of all-stars, I don't know how I forgot to write this down, but Adam Frazier was traded. I don't have the trade in front of me, and that's on me. Like that's really on me. I just forgot about it. But Adam Frazier was traded. Don't know to forgot to where and I forgot for what. But Arizona is on the same level as that Pittsburgh team and Eduardo Escobar. I am so happy that he has been freed. He has been freed to Milwaukee where he has a legitimate shot of winning that division. And that Brewers team is a sneaky team to get to the NLCS. You know, they got Eduardo Escobar. They have Christian Yelich. That's really like a sneaky thing to where, like, if he gets hot, this team is absolutely scary. Now they have Willie Adames. They have a bullpen. They have starters like Corbin Burns, Brandon Woodruff. They have relievers like, obviously, Josh Hader. Workman, I think, is there. It's, I might be wrong about that, Workman. But it was, it's very, that to me was one of my favorite trades of this time right before the trade deadline, which is Friday, which I have, I'll tell you about Friday in a little bit. But that was probably one of my favorite trades of this time was Eduardo Escobar finally being freed from Arizona. Arizona getting 2 prospects. Yeah, you're going to need them. That's all I'll say. Now we'll quickly gloss over a few of these trades. First one came from Seattle. Kendall Graveman was traded for Abraham Toro and Joe Smith. This trade was interesting for the fact that Mariners players were very mad. They thought Kendall Graveman was a vital part to this possible postseason run. They did not like the fact that they traded him, and they sort of created an uproar. Sort of rightfully so. I don't think Joe Smith is on the same level as Kendall Graveman. Abraham Toro is like a middle infielder. Don't think he'll get too much playing time there. So I do somewhat understand where the Mariners Mariners players are coming from, saying the organization shouldn't be trying to make some of these trades knowing that they got a playoff push that they can make. So that's one trade. Another trade is Luis Cessa and Justin Wilson were traded to Cincinnati for a player to be named later. This was obviously a roster clearer to get Joey Gallo into the organization. They must have been pretty close to Gallo to be comfortable trading a guy like Luis Cessa, who has been pretty good this year. I will not lie. Luis Cessa has been good this year. The Yankee organization said that both him and Wilson were not a part of their postseason plans if they were to make it. So, led to them just being basically roster dumps to get Joey Gallo. Understandable. Yimi Garcia, another Marlins trade. He gets traded over to, I think, Houston for 2 prospects. Houston bolstering that bullpen. They got Graveman, and now they have Yimi Garcia. Now they're in there to complement the guys that they have in there. But, yeah, right now, those are the trades. Again, I'm very mad at myself that I don't have the Adam Frazier trade in front of me. I should have had that trade. That's on me. There's probably a couple that I forgot. If there are a couple I forgot, leave those in the comments below and tell me in the comments, A, what do you think about these trades that I brought up? B, was there any trades I missed? C, did you think some of my takes were wrong? Or what did you think of my takes? Let me know down in the comments below. This will be the end of the podcast, but before you go, just want you to know Friday is going to be a big day for the NJAP crew. We got a big guest coming on for an interview. You don't want to miss it. So again, leave that sub, press the notification bell so you never miss a video. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe. It's been your boy TJ Pedro. I'm out of here. Peace.